Your experience of this world and of the dating scene and how people present to you and who you meet and what you find attractive is entirely based on your attachment style. The idea that somebody ghosts you, or somebody doesn't respect you, or somebody is dating other people, or you're stuck in a triangle, or they're doing some kind of madness, and you are still around that person, and you're still pursuing that person, and you still find that person moderately attractive. And if you are the type of person who consumes, red pill content, or women are this and men are this, and you should do this with the woman if you blink twice for a man, and if you look at your eyes sideways, and all these tricks and all these things in order to manipulate the opposite sex, if you buy into it, if you believe in it, you've got to understand that you are in the 50 percentile of people who are either anxiously attached or have an attachment style that isn't secure. Most secure people do not bite and do not get attracted to these trauma responses. Secure people aren't biased to connect with those type of things. If you're a man and you're constantly finding women who are apparently gold diggers, or apparently want this or that from you, or they're doing too much or not bringing enough to the table, or all these dramas that people talk about online, then you're probably avoidant or anxious. You're somewhere on that spectrum. And a lot of men fall into the avoidant category. That 50 percentile of attachment that isn't secure fall into the avoidant because they've got some issues that occurred. They've got parents who were over-coddling, over-parenting, not giving them freedom. They've got a mother-son wound where she wasn't there for him, or she didn't do enough. And women fall into the category where they're so anxious. Why didn't he reply to me? Why isn't he interested in me? Why did he say that? Why did he not say that? My DMs are full of women who ask these questions about men who really have nothing to offer her. He's got nothing to offer her. He maybe has a relationship with someone else. He's maybe married to someone else. He's completely not committed. He's completely not interested. And what you're failing to see is that you are only stuck on this person. You are stuck on this unhealthy person, and their way of conducting themselves with you because of your attachment style. If you were secure, you would not be wondering why he hasn't replied to you for the 5th time. If you were secure and knew your worth and knew your merit and knew to put yourself first, which you have to do as a woman, I tell you that many, many times, in order to be a high value woman, you have to put yourself first. As unnatural as it feels, as unnatural as it feels in your body to put yourself first, you have to. Simply for the fact that we have periods, we have childbirth, we have postpartum. Apparently now it takes up to 3 years to get back to your normal self after postpartum, science says. We have menopause. We don't have that kind of rigor that men have. So you have an obligation to look after yourself. You have an obligation to put yourself first and be kind to yourself. And if you find yourself attracted to these types of men who are neither here nor there, they're not sure about you, they're not sure about marriage, they're not sure about anything. And let's face it, if someone is not sure about marriage with you, it is essentially saying to you that you are good enough for now. You are on probation. That if you were to do something, that means that a lot of people like to say, and a lot of men like to sell it this way, oh, I don't want to get married because we'll always try harder for each other. But based on that basis, you're fair with a friend. You're only there to be there for a good time with somebody. As soon as they lapse, as soon as they fail, and life has hardships, let me remind you, life has hardships. What are you going to do, not be there for them? There is a lack of commitment there. If you're a type of woman who bites on that, finds that attractive, starts to wonder why he hasn't replied to you, what is he thinking about you, if he gets in your head, you're not securely attached. Securely attached people, once you treat them like this once or twice or 3 times, they don't find you attractive anymore. It's not a polarity that pulls you towards them. If you're an insecure attachment style, you will be pulled towards that because you're used to that from your childhood. You used to be pulled left, right, and center from your childhood. You thrive if you're anxious from not knowing if that partner is going to be with you and reply to you, and then suddenly and finally they finally do reply to you and you get this soothing outcome. And if you're an avoidant person, you feel uncomfortable that someone's too close to you. They've got to be at a distance. And if you find yourself in the dating pool of people who believe all this stuff about, red pill this, or treat women this, or men are this, extreme views on humanity, if you have extreme views, you probably are falling into polarity of anxious or avoidant attachment. And you need to first not focus on dating tricks, not focus on how to get the guy or how to get the girl, or advice on how to do this trick to make him this or to make him that. It's not about that. You need to really focus in on yourself and make yourself a priority, like I said, because if you don't have anything to give to anybody, then you're going to be nothing, and you're going to be chasing these people who are also on that spectrum. A secure person would literally not find it attractive. What is attractive about someone who is not there for you? What is attractive about somebody who does not respond to you, who does not reply to you, who's not sure which woman to choose in his life? What is attractive about that? Can somebody tell me? Oh, I know what it is. It's the fact that you have pain points, that is striking in you, and you are trying to heal through that. You're trying to go back in time, and you're trying to remember when you were treated in the same way that this person makes you feel, probably from a parental relationship, and heal it. That is what you're trying to do. And if all these games are attractive to you, and if you find things like, oh, but how can, I don't know if I want to get married, or how can I be with one person for a long time? You are not rigorous in your decision making. You need to understand that if you want to be in a partnership, you need to choose a partner and have some steadfastness about it. That even you in your attachment that is anxious, and I'm talking to you because a lot of avoidants wouldn't even watch this, but even in your anxious attachment style, you are choosing to constantly focus on people who are not healed. And if the fact that you find guys who are secure quite boring, should be a red flag for you. If you're attracted to guys who are toxic, that should be a red flag for you. Once you are healed, you will not find that behavior attractive in any way. I've made a video on this channel about how to heal your anxious attachment, how I did it. I remember the addictive feeling of somebody who isn't sure about you, replying or not replying. I remember it really well. I used to be very anxiously attached, and it still gets spiked in me sometimes because obviously you can never fully forget it, and you heal it, but you know what it feels like. It's essentially like having a broken leg. You remember what it's like having a broken leg. You remember what it's like wearing a cast. You remember all those things. But you need to train your brain to be bored of these actions, of these rhetorics that people have online, of these ideas that go around of the opposite sex. You need to learn to be bored of it, and you need to fundamentally train yourself to find stability and a good human being attractive. Otherwise, everything that you're planning in your life, all these plans that you have to grow as a person, start a business, create something for yourself, you might as well put it on the back burner, on the wayside, because if your mind is preoccupied, and that is the word, is preoccupied with these anxious thoughts and anxious feelings and running around and trying to make them notice you, you're living on the wrong side of what a relationship's meant to be. A relationship's meant to serve you. And especially if you're anxious, and especially if you're a woman, you will never find true peace with trying to control someone, which is what you're trying to do if you're an anxious person. You're never going to find peace in finally controlling someone and making them love you. Because a lot of anxious people, anxiously attached people, are extremely controlling and very, very hard to be with, but they don't see themselves that way. If you're with a secure person, that person wouldn't put up with you for long. The only reason that the avoidant person puts up with your anxiousness is because it validates their reality. Their reality is that somebody always wants something from them. Somebody always wants to get something from them. Somebody wants their time. And your reality is somebody's always trying to escape from you. Someone's always trying to run away from you. Someone's always trying to avoid you. And you're validating each other. And you're sitting online talking about men aren't this, women aren't this. Meanwhile, the secure people are getting on with life, choosing partners. If it doesn't work, they move on. So I implore you, before you wonder, why does he not reply to me? Why is he this? Why is he that? Ask yourself, why are you attracted to it? Why are you not put off by it? That's the question.